What's happening, Real Reds people? How are we doing? I'm joined by the illustrious Motty. I'm not going to do a massive introduction because Nick's not very good at them. I'm not, and I've not wrote anything. But I will say he's two-thirds. We are two-thirds of the Eccles Mafia, despite the fact that I now live in Sale. So,
you've moved to is that M32?
M33.
Oh, is it a post M30?
I'm still in the 30. I'm still in the 30.
Yeah.
So I'm still there.
Are you in the race course? Is that where you moved to?
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Sorry, Sale West.
So yeah. No, I'm in the
what?
town. I'm in the town centre, mate.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with living in the race course, right? You've moved to the race course. There's nothing wrong with that. You're working class. We both are. If you want to leave Eccles,
Sale
to go and live. Part of it is it's weird, Sale, isn't it? Because you've got the race course where you live, and then you've got down the road, you've got the avenue where there's like £1 million mansions and all that. It's off its head.
I know it's not like Altringham's definitely like it's just all Tory in it. It's just big blue. Yeah.
They won't even let me in Altrincham.
No, definitely not.
I get to Sale, so the bit where you get into Altrincham and I get turned around.
Yeah.
You're not sorry enough.
My mum's, I think she's in her 50s. She used to say Sale used to be rough as fuck. Like back in the day, it used to be proper rough, and you could not go there. And now it's like artisan bakeries and weird shit. So.
It's weird, man, because it's such a mixture. Because when I used to live in Paddington, we used to have wars with Sale.
Wars?
Say wars. We're only about 13. So it was when the Metrolink had started, right? So we all used to jump on the Metrolink, and we'd be out and about on the Metrolink. It's only the main line would go from Sale, Altrincham, so Altrincham, Sale, Stretford, and Town.
Yeah.
So we're getting on that, and if we bumped into the race course and there was say 2 of us and 4 of them, then they'd probably give us a bit of an idea and rob us.
It'd be a ruckus.
Yeah, and they might end up, taking our hats off us or whatever.
Yeah.
And if it was vice versa, if we outnumbered them, then we might have done the same. So it just went on for quite a while. It was just dramas. You couldn't be A8 getting on a Metrolink where you'd be there and you see a load of the race course and you'd be outnumbered. It was always horrible.
You just be on the edge. You see it as you go past on the window. Just be
hey up. Yeah.
I used to do that, but I used to dodge the ticket inspectors. Like when I couldn't afford to get on, you just be looking for the ticket inspector, and then when they catch you, you just give your mate's name or something, and then just do off. Just
see what I mean? I used to always pretend when I used to get caught first on the Metrolink that I was trying to pay on the Metrolink. So they come over, so I'd go can I have a ticket to Altrincham, please?
It's don't work that way, mate.
Nah, you've got to buy a ticket before you get on. I go, really? Oh right. Oh, I didn't know. Oh, sorry. Right, I thought you bought it
with your Mike accent.
I was trying to find the tram conductor.
Yeah.
That you kind of got away. You might have got out early doors. No one's having it now when the Metrolink's been around for 20 years, whatever it is.
Yeah. We will talk football for anybody in the chat wondering what the fuck we're talking about with Manchester-based town centres and what have you. But I've got Jay on.
What's your favourite Metrolink stop? That's the big question. Yeah.
You know what? I think is I like Pomona because it's so pointless.
Yeah.
Why is it there? What is the point of it?
No man's land in it.
Why? Nobody lives there.
Cornbrook's mad busy in it.
Yeah.
Cornbrook is popping right off. Yeah. You're what is going on? There's about 100 people here.
All going different directions.
Trafford Centre trams, Deansgate trams to the airport. Everything is happening at Cornbrook, right? Yeah. It is dog eat dog at that gaff. And then you get to Pomona, and it's like you've gone back in time,
just
bro.
Tumbleweeds going past you.
Yeah. I actually got on the tram at Pomona the other day, because I had a bit of a nightmare. So I went to Media City in the morning with the family and that, because I'm a family guy. And went to watch, what's the film we went? Do you know what? I literally just watched it. I can't remember what it is. It's the Willy Wonka one, Wonka.
Any good? Is it worth?
Yeah, it was alright. Actually, it was okay. It's one of those films that you can watch with the kids.
Right.
But it's alright. You can watch it. I didn't even sleep through it. I usually sleep through films at the cinema with the kids, but I stayed awake for practically all of it. So we finished there, and I had to go to the studio because the game was on. But I had 2 hours or an hour before I had to be there. I thought I'll walk. Right, I'll walk to the studio for Media City. It's a 45-minute walk. You know me. I like a bit of exercise.
You do.
Anyway, I started walking, and I must have hit a dead end down the canal. I must have gone the wrong way. So I thought, for God's sake. So I turned around, and I thought, I'm just going to get the tram because I've messed this up. And the nearest tram was Pomona. So I was at the Pomona stop, And
nobody
like
else at the stop.
There's actually 2 people there, but it was like, and then you get on the tram, the next stop's Cornbrook, and it's over. It's like, right, what is going on here?
If I was a
I like that, Pomona.
If I was a tram driver, I'd just be like, why am I stopping here? What's the fucking
What is
point?
it exactly, man?
Why?
9 times out of 10, no one's even there.
No.
Like,
and it's like it's like 10-minute walk to Cornbrook. Like, just walk up the road, man. Like, you can get every tram then. Like,
yeah, I don't get it. But no, I hear you that Pomona's one of your favourites, or your favourite. It makes sense.
It's just because it's out there. I just, like, everybody knows Cornbrook, everybody knows Eccles. Like, so it's just Pomona's just a bit of a weird one.
What's the next one after Pomona? Is it Salford Keys? No, it's not. Is it?
No,
it's not Exchange. Is it Exchange Key?
Is it Exchange Key? It might be. Might be Exchange Key.
Yeah, so that's relatively busy.
Where's Anchorage? Is Anchorage afterwards?
I think Anchorage. Yeah, I always get Anchorage and Harbour City mixed up.
Yeah.
I think Anchorage is the next
one. I can't
one.
believe what this show's turned out.
Bro, this is what we do. I think it's Exchange Key, Salford Keys. Oh, mate, you throw the right spanner in the works with Anchorage.
That's what I'm saying.
Anchorage Harbour City, is it? I don't know.
And then occasionally they decide to go to Media City, but sometimes they don't. They sort of random.
Yeah, that's a bit random now.
Sometimes we do.
And do you know what, right? You're laughing now, you and Sale, because we get stitched up in Eccles. Because what they'll do in Eccles, right? They'll just put a sign up in about October, and they'll go, "There's no trams running to Eccles till February," and you'll be like, "What? That's like half the year. What do you mean? There's no not even just no tram. We're fixing the lines. What, for 6 months?
Where does it stop then? Media City?
No, it stops at
Ladywell.
Sometimes it's Ladywell. Other times it's like I've had it where there was one where it was like Langworthy.
Jesus.
For a little while. What? Walking from Langworthy, that was a task.
You don't want to stop in Weast, do you? You get your bulletproof vest out and that. So.
You've got to walk quickly in them ends.
Yeah, that's not fun. My family's actually, my dad's side of family's from there.
From Weast?
Yeah. Do you know the green panel houses? When you go off the Manchester, my grandma used to live in one of those houses, so I know it well.
Really?
Yeah, I know the church that used to be there, and they knocked it down. And stuff, so,
mate. Yeah, you know your history.
I know it, mate. I know it.
I mean, your M30-ish history.
I just know the really rough parts of like Salford and Manchester, like Brookhouse, Odsall. I know all of that stuff.
Do you know what? I love it because when I used to do community service, those were the people like you see people from Brookhouse, where Odsall, the racecourse where you live, Weast. All them lot, yeah.
No,
big time. Old Trafford is another one.
I never spent much time there, so I'll take your word for it. Jay, it's Christmas. I know you probably didn't realise, but it is. Everybody likes to partake in Christmas for the most part around like my family and stuff like that. I'm not too much into it myself, but everybody around me loves it, so you have to join in. We spoke about films, spoke about documentaries. I want you to hit me with your must-watch Christmas type stuff, TV, film, whatever you want. Just hit me. And if Die Hard 1 or 2 isn't on there, then there's going to be some words. But
I like the fact you've thrown in 2 there. Most people forget that. Do you know what I mean?
It's a good film, man.
2 qualifies as a Christmas film. Yeah, obviously Die Hard's the main one, isn't it? And it is a Christmas film. Yeah. But do you know what I like watching? I watch it with my kids. I can watch it any time with them. Like watch it. I think we've watched it twice already this Christmas. Home Alone. It's just it does the trick.
Classic.
Kids love it, and as an adult you can watch it and laugh. Do you know what I mean? It's a good Christmas film, and I've got a few ones that are a bit controversial, right?
Come on,
because some people like hate on these films, but I actually like him. Like people hate Love Actually, right? People hate it because they're like Love Actually. As if that had happened, as if that was real. There's no way that had really. The press conference where the Prime Minister says that to the President, that had never happened. And
it's a film, mate. It's a film.
A kid running through the airport without getting nabbed by security, and they can't even catch him even though he's 7 and they're grown men. That had never happened. It's a film. It's a Hugh Grant, Richard Curtis rom-com. It ain't real life. Like, if you think Notting Hill looks like Notting Hill in that film, I've got some magic beans to sell you. It's nonsense, but it's a Christmas film. It's like made for Christmas.
Switch your brain off.
Man. It's not that deep. Just sit back and watch the fluffiness of this is what we want Americans to think England is like. Enjoy it, man. It's all right, like as a Christmas film. I don't mind it at all. It's not one of my favorites, but I can watch it.
Yeah.
I like the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. That's a good one.
That's one I don't hear. I don't hear a lot of people. I've seen it, like I like it, but a lot of people don't mention it. Maybe it's like
it's a good one. It's an older one. It's
generational thing.
Yeah. It's around a similar time to Home Alone, actually, even though it does feel like a different era.
Yeah.
So yeah, Die Hard, Home Alone, National Lampoon's, a bit of Love Actually. I mean, me missus and me youngest were watching the Polar Express the other day. The cartoon one, they love that.
Tom Hanks, isn't it? He's the voice on it. So
yeah, he's in it in a few bits and pieces. So yeah, there's a few there. What about yourself? What's your Christmas go-to film?
I love both the Die Hards. I think classic Christmas films, and it's just like you said, you switch your brain off, and it's just John McClane blowing shit up and saying yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. So like,
exactly, man. You don't have to think too hard to watch that.
And then I don't know why this sort of it like just holds something over me, but Muppets Christmas Carol. I don't know why.
Good one.
But it's been a part of my childhood since I was like 3. And I watch it every year, and it brings me so much like happiness. Like it's funny as well, man. The comedy in it is like spot on. And you got Michael Caine as well.
Michael Caine, mate, he's very good in that.
So yeah, I'm down with that. And then the Home Alone, both of them, 1 and 2, I'm down with that. Like physical comedy, classics. I don't stray too much off the beaten path with Christmas films. Really.
No, man.
I don't like Elf.
To the staples.
I don't like.
You don't like Elf?
No.
That's controversial.
Yeah.
Elf's a good film, I think. You're not into it.
Not a fan of Will Ferrell. I don't find him funny. Like I didn't find Anchorman funny. Wasn't funny to me.
What?
Nah, I'm sorry. Like this is what I say. Like I say it to people, and people not into it, man.
I'm shocked, man. I think Anchorman 2 was pretty trash, but Anchorman 1 I think is good.
Yeah.
I like Elf. But yeah, I'm surprised, but fair enough. You've got you know, I'm not that bothered by your opinion on Will Ferrell.
It's not precious.
Yeah, like if he was coming at me with like, you know, I don't like, I don't know, Paddy Considine or Denzel or something like that, I'd be like, whoa, this is over. But yeah, Will Ferrell, I like the guy, but I'm not his biggest fan, so fair enough.
Yeah, I've not got a serious head injury where I'm gonna ignore Denzel or ignore Paddy Considine. Like I've had concussions, but I'm not that broken. So
okay, fair enough.
All right, but there's a couple in the chat. Broadway is before Harbour City, apparently, according to Henry.
Nah, that makes sense, you know. So
is Broadway not the other way?
No.
Is Broadway not?
No, No, it's Harbour City. If you go into Eccles, it's Broadway, Langworthy, Weast.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're right.
Ladywell, Eccles, I think.
Yeah.
No, so Broadway is. Yeah, then it's Broadway. If you're going towards like Piccadilly or towards Cornbrook, it's Broadway, then Harbour City.
Yeah.
Then it's the Anchorage one. It's spanning for me.
I've put cat among the pigeons there. Brian Casey, shout out to him, being a Real Reds Ultra. Die Hard, Elf, Home Alone, classics as always.
Top man, Brian.
NT, generally the only Christmas film I've ever liked, Muppets Christmas Carol. Man, got respect.
Can't argue with that. Do you know what? I'm not going to argue with you about Muppets Christmas Carol. It's a good film. I enjoy it.
Miles,
not what my kids are that mad about, but it's a good film.
Miles saying partial to Scrooge. A good film, man. Very underrated. I like Scrooged. It's good. Bill Murray.
Oh, with Bill Murray. You can't go wrong with Bill Murray. He's a good guy and he's a good actor. He's funny.
Dean Lewis, Rambo First Blood is a Christmas film. I'll agree to disagree there. I don't think it is a Christmas film, but whatever you enjoy Christmas, mate. Whatever you enjoy.
I mean, yeah, you can put it on at Christmas, obviously, but I don't think John Rambo and being in the woods and murdering a load of sheriffs or whatever it is he does is particularly Christmassy.
Not as you're having your mulled wine, just.
Yeah. Don't think that those woods are full of Christmas trees. I might be wrong though. I've not watched it for a little while, so I'll have to give it a rewatch.
Hey, some people spend their Christmases differently, Jay. So.
Yeah, exactly, that's true.
There you go.
And we're inclusive on this channel.
Exactly. All right, so we spoke about Christmas films. Before we get into like the actual news and stuff like that, a question popped into my head. There's been a lot of good Boxing Day memories from Manchester United. Not recently, but if we go back a little bit. 2 Newcastle ones actually stand out to me. Ole Gunnar with a victory 4-1 against Newcastle. It was 2017, I think. And then the last Boxing Day game of Fergie's era against Newcastle as well, 4-3, RVP with a winner. I just want to know, any memories pop into your head when it comes to sort of Boxing Day games or like Christmas, games around Christmas time, that sort of spark in your head?
Oh, now you're asking, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's hazy. It is hazy at best.
Is that for a reason, or is that just age?
Some of it is age. Some of it is because when I used to go to the games or watch the games around Christmas, I'd be still just out of my head. I think there was one against Sunderland at home where we got a late winner.
Yes.
I think that was either New Year's Day or Boxing Day. It was
Yeah.
one of the. I think it might have been New Year's Day, but that was one that springs to mind. It was a pretty poor game, but we got a late winner. And it was when I used to sit near the tunnel. I remember Fergie giving it all out at the end. But I'm struggling, bro. I'm sorry. I'm struggling to remember like what a Christmas games and when was the Christmas game, what the results were, because I'll have to be reminded because like even the games you referenced there, the Newcastle ones, I'm struggling to remember them. And it's probably
with the Fergie one, we went down. I think we were down 2-1, and then we came back to 2-2, and then RVP, I think it was like 80th minute or something. It was late winner, and the RVP got winner. It was the year he won the Golden Boot.
Okay.
So I think that was that era. But yeah,
it's always good to beat Newcastle anyway.
Yeah, we've not done it much this year, have we? So it's not gone well.
It was kind of, what do you make of Newcastle, right? Because they're a weird club. Like the fans have sort of I feel like the fans are trying to manufacture this rivalry with us a little bit. Like I've noticed online there's like a lot of hate from Newcastle fans towards United fans. And I'm like, I don't really get it because we're not rivals and we've never been rivals. And like, okay, there was that brief period in about 95 to 90 or 96 to 97 where they were like finishing second to us or whatever in the league.
Yeah.
But there was never really been much of a rivalry there. Like we're not geographically, we're miles away. We've never really gone toe to toe for many trophies other than like the 99 Cup final and the Carabao Cup final last year and the title race that I mentioned. And yeah, I see a lot of Geordies hating on United. And it's like they want to try and, I don't know whether they're trying to make a rivalry or they genuinely believe there is one. But I'm like Newcastle are probably, like in terms of like the order of merit when it comes to rivalries, I put the Scousers top, I probably have City second, I've had Leeds third. I'd probably come in with maybe Arsenal at fourth, just because of everything that's gone on and the fact that Arsenal fans are whoppers.
Yeah.
And then I'd even put like Chelsea above Newcastle.
Yeah, because there was the Jose era, wasn't there, where he was sort of battling it out with Jose.
Yeah, and there's like there's been a little bit of back and forth with us and Chelsea. I mean, not great rivals, but
no,
I think there's something there where Newcastle barely on our radar.
Maybe because they're a one city team and the nearest rivals are obviously Sunderland, who are in the Championship, so they haven't got somebody to go at. And
they haven't. You're right.
They can't go at City because what are you going to do? Oh, great, two plastic clubs going at each other. Like, do you know what I mean? Nobody's
sports washing derby.
Nobody's.
But it's daft as well. Like, because I hate this narrative as well. Like, Newcastle fans deserve credit for sticking with the club and for the fact that they're so loyal when they've not won anything. And I think you haven't got a choice. Like, you're in one club, City, so you either go and watch Newcastle, or you don't watch anyone, or you support Newcastle.
Sunderland.
Yeah, or you support a club that's nowhere near your city. So you don't get brownie points for supporting a club of your town. No. Like, tell that to Plymouth fans or Exeter fans or Rotherham fans or whoever. You support teams from their town and teams that aren't even in the Premier League. So this whole thing like, oh, Newcastle fans are so good. No, they're not. They're just geographically stuck with one club. And that club happens to be Newcastle. And also, whilst they don't win things, they're all, they're more often than not, they've been in the Premier League. And now they've obviously won the lottery. They're going to be challenging for stuff as well. So spare me the whole, Newcastle fans deserve a big pat on the back, so don't buy it.
It's also the thing of like, oh, they're the only team to ever have a shit owner. Like, they're the only team to ever have a shit owner. It's like, Bury have lost their fucking club. Like, their club has gone under because of the owner. Like, come on, man.
Like, a historic club, an FA Cup winning club, has ceased to exist because of the owners or because of the owner. Like, you can't get worse than that. But we have to listen to this whole thing about Newcastle fans and and it's just like, man, spare like Mike Ashley. And I don't like Mike Ashley. I think he's a terrible owner, but he's not the only bad owner that's been in the Premier League. Let's be honest. None of the Newcastle fans feel sorry for us with the Glazers.
Oh, couldn't give a shit. Couldn't give a fucking,
exactly.
Couldn't give a toss. But yeah, it's a weird. Yeah, I don't have any ill feeling towards Newcastle. But again, at the same time, they're not one of those teams where I look at I want to watch them. Like, they don't interest. Like, they're just sort of there on their abouts. Like, I have an interest in Spurs. Like I like what Ange Postecoglou's doing with the team. I think it's absolutely mental because no matter what, he's sticking to his principles, even if he gets beaten, absolutely smashed.
Yeah.
And he's got 9 men, he's still doing it. So I like watching them. Brighton are another team I'm interested in because I like the way they do things and stuff like that. Newcastle, I couldn't give a shit. Like finish 4th, finish 2nd, mate. I don't care. Really.
Yeah,
don't care.
I do hear you. They're just a little bit annoying. Oh, that's a good question. Sorry to jump on. Dino's asked a good one there. Where would you put West Ham?
West Ham.
That's a good question, Dino, because I wrote an article years ago. West Ham are a funny one, because there isn't something there about West Ham that gets under my skin a little bit, and there is a little bit of needle between us. And West Ham have had like important results against United.
Where's that come from? Where's the needle come from?
I think the Paul Ince thing might have caused a lot of it. There was a lot of there because some of the abuse he used to get. Listen, most United fans don't care for Paul Ince because he went to Liverpool and all the rest of it. But a lot of what used to go on at Upton Park against Paul Ince was beyond the pale. It was horrible.
Yeah.
So that, and then there was a time I think in 91, 92 when we were going for the league, and we lost to West Ham, I think, and that was one of the results that cost us. And then again in 95 we drew at Upton Park where we needed a win. Ludek McCloskey had the game of his life. So there's been like little bits of something there.
Yeah.
You've had a little bit of ag with him. So I'd probably put West Ham. I think West Ham might be sort of 7th in my list. Yeah. There is something there, but not, this is it.
Maybe I'm a bit too young to sort of miss. Like, 'cause I was born 88, so that 91, like, it's just, I don't remember.
Just a typical YouTube, yeah. Oh, I wasn't born, so I didn't go. Jesus Christ, what sort of an excuse is that? Oh, I was 2 years old, so I didn't go to Upton Park.
Mate, you couldn't afford a season ticket when you were 3. What the fuck are you doing? Like,
what's the matter with you, man?
Yeah, bollocks.
Anyways. Do you know what? I had a horrible experience at Upton Park as well. I watched us, lose 4-0. Jonathan Spector, I think, got a brace in the Carabao or the League Cup as it was then. And it was snowing and it was minging. It was horrible. That's like one of the biggest defeats we ever had under Fergie. And it was like just some random game midweek against Newcastle. It was against West Ham. It was terrible.
Do you remember that game, Ollie, in his the last season? We went to West Ham. It was like 1-0 loss, and it was one of the most boring games I've ever seen in my life. It was just drab and fucking. Like honestly, I was just sat there going, "Somebody do something!" Like somebody tackle somebody, somebody make a run, it was awful. It's an awful game. I remember that one really strongly, and I don't know why it stuck in my head because it was a shit game, but it's in the back.
Sometimes you do though, them like horrible games. Sometimes you do. You remember them, like the Fulham 2-2 sticks in my memory.
Yeah,
that game, or Olympiacos that season as well away. There's certain games were terrible, but they stick in
David Moyes.
The Moyes era. To be honest with you, it was over there for that. It was horrible.
Oh, Jesus Christ. We've just had a news story yesterday. Dan Ashworth, speaking of Newcastle, I've got the link. There we go. Professional.
Look at you.
Newcastle with Dan Ashworth, who's their sporting director, I believe. Manchester United are rumoured to be in for him to take on the sporting director of Manchester United. There's also rumours Paul Mitchell coming in as like a technical director / head of scouting. John Blanc as the CEO being sounded out as well. With that trio of wise men, there's another Christmas link for you.
Nice.
Huge step in the right direction in terms of structure for Manchester United, which is something I feel like we haven't had since like Fergie and sort of David Gill were the sort of guys who were running everything. Do you think that's a huge step in the right direction, or do you think it just sort of exposes the sort of failures that we've had over the last sort of 13, 14 years under the Glazers?
Maybe a little bit of both. It can be a step in the right direction and can highlight what you should have been doing years ago. Now, I'm not going to get carried away with all this because I'm not going to lie to you, bro. I don't know these people. I don't know much about them. I've just read up on them since they've been linked with the club. And on paper, it makes sense. Like, the kid Paul Mitchell, his record at RB Leipzig, Spurs, Southampton, looks elite. Dan Ashworth obviously has he's been getting a lot of praise of what the work that he's done at Newcastle. And I think he's the other one, Jean Blanc.
He was at Brighton as well.
Sorry, Dan Ashworth at Brighton. That's probably where he's got most of the credit. And also with the lad Jean-Claude Blanc, who has been
PSG,
involved in Juve,
Juventus,
something else as well. I can't remember what else he's been, like the Olympics or something he did as well.
Sure.
He did something where you're like, wow, okay. So on paper, it makes sense. But you have to see how it works, really, don't you? Because, on paper, Louis van Gaal was a great idea and it didn't really work out. On paper, I know it's different, but sometimes you look at things on paper and you go, okay, Jose to United will get you a title. Yeah, it doesn't for whatever reason. So it does make sense. And I do like these names from what I've read up on him, but I'm just sort of being a bit cautious with it all because we can all go, yeah, this is it now. We've got the dream team in. Yeah. But you don't know, do you? And you've got to remember that these people are coming into a club that is fucked. We are a million miles behind some of our rivals in terms of the squad, the structure, just the atmosphere. And I don't mean the atmosphere in the stadium with the fans. I mean like the general feeling around the club, just the way we do things. There's so many little details that need fixing at Manchester United. Like so many.
It's like, some of them not even on the pitch. So.
Yeah, like you would be a mate. Like I was fortunate enough to, and I know I sound like a proper Tory here, moaning about. I got a corporate not long ago. Someone I know had a couple of spare tickets to the one of the Salford Suite or whatever it is. Went there with took my lad, and it's like he was saying to me, even this, the hospitality has gone to the dogs a bit. There's certain things that go on that you think you don't get that elsewhere, and I don't know because I've not got a point of reference. But it's like that slipping. You look at, I know certain members of staff at work at United, they're feeling disengaged. I'm not talking about players or coaches, just the general staff.
Yeah.
They're not feeling motivated and enthused about working for Manchester United. They're not feeling like they're getting treated well. You look at the stadium falling apart, the training ground needs. I know Sir Jim Ratcliffe's going to put in 245 million, but it's been allowed to go from modern to vintage.
Yeah.
There's so many little things and big things as well that need fixing. And what you look at when you go to City, and I hate this, right? Because I hate Manchester City as much as I love my kids, right? But you go to City, let's talk about it from a journalist point of view. I've been at City press conferences. I've not been for the last 4 or 5 years, but I used to go almost every week. The structure there, little things like you get there, you get meal, like, you can help yourself to food, hot food as well, and drinks out of the fridge and all that. You go in there, it's a proper media centre with fixed seating. There's a microphone that's passed around. You will get that microphone if you want it. There isn't like, nah, we're not coming to you, or no, that's it. And then there's a sort of engagement there with the media. They've got, in some roles in their media team, their social media team, fans who had blogs and who've gone to them, come and work for us. You understand the fans. Come and work for our social media team. You'll connect with the fans. Now, I know in the past at United, there have been fans of other clubs running the media team, or fans of other clubs involved in social media. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, you can get away with that. Yeah. If you know social media, you don't have to necessarily be a United fan to run a United social media account, but it's not ideal. You would have wanted some Reds there. And like, that's not even like the main thing as well. Like when you go into Old Trafford or to Carrington for the press conference, the media room is okay. It's not really a particularly great one. It's usually the same set of people that get questions, and then that's it. Very short.
Unless they're banned.
Yeah, unless they're banned. You feel like it's almost an attitude of, we don't want you here, but we've got to have you here. Sure. Whereas at City, it's a bit more like, okay, let's encourage you to come here. Let's embrace it. Don't get me wrong. City can be awkward if you're saying the wrong thing or you're covering the wrong stories. They don't like whatever. But there's just a better atmosphere there. And it's those kind of things that can make a difference. And it's like United have just been slipping further and further and further. And I was out having a scrum with a few lads that I know last night, and they're involved in coaching, and they all, coach to a decent standard and played to a very good standard as well. And they were talking about kids at United and how kids now are looking at City, and even parents are looking at City,
of course,
as maybe the club to go to. I'm not talking about because you're going to go and play for Manchester City first team, because chances are you ain't, because you've got almost no chance of getting into the first team as an academy player. But
chances of having a career later on.
The structure there, the way they look after you, the way they develop you, is better, and it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
United had basically a 20, 30, 40-year head start on City. When City started getting all this money, we had a big head start, and they've overtaken us. And I don't mean just on the pitch. I mean in terms of the structure and everything they're doing. And it pains me, man, because I take no pleasure in I'm not even praising Manchester City.
No.
It's more criticism of United, because United should have been doing that. All
It's
City
not,
have done is they've come in and gone, what's the best in class? Who's the best guy to get in? What's the best way we can do this? People going about Pep Guardiola, right? Like he's a genius that has transformed the club. He's probably the best manager, or one of the best managers in the world right now. There's no disputing that. But he inherited a team that had won 2 of the last 4 Premier League titles, that had been to the Champions League semi-final, I think, the year before he got there.
with an unlimited budget.
With an unlimited budget, with a structure in there, with Tiggy Bergie Stan, who he knew, and a way of getting business done quickly and properly. So when he wanted Claudio Bravo, they got him in. And when he said, nah, he's not good enough, they got in Edison.
Yep.
That's how you do things. At United, we don't have that. It's haphazard.
They do it with fan engagement as well. Like, we joke about not being able to fill stadiums and stuff, but you got stuff like the Tunnel Club, for example, where the kids, like young kids who's experienced, like they want to see the players, they want to get up close, and they can stand in the tunnel and they can watch the players like in the tunnel and stuff like that. And it's just like really small stuff like that makes it for kids who want to go to games and stuff like that. United, it's just like, great, you go there and there's a chance of a concrete block falling on you. You're going to have toilets explode with piss while you're there and stuff like that. And do you know what I mean? Like, it's a terrible experience for, like, kids. And, like, as an adult, like, I'm kind of used to it at this point. Like, it is what it is. But taking a young kid, it's horrible.
You make a great point, because, me and my mates who were chatting last night, we're all Reds. We've all got kids of similar age. We're all saying we're fighting to keep these kids as United fans. We're, like, encouraging them. One of my mates who's a big Red, one of his lads gone over to the dark side as a City fan. Jeez. And my lad's diehard Red, but I've been ingrained that in him.
Yeah.
But, you talk about the fan engagement. A lad I know, he went to City. He's not a City fan, right? He's a Newcastle fan, but he lives in Manchester. He likes to watch football. He said he went down to the Etihad just to watch City versus Villa or whatever. He said they've got so much going on there, so much different food. When the team's announced, they've got like people on the stage doing announcements, they've got music, they've got a pub inside and all that. Now listen, you might go, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Like, who cares? But that's the way football is going, is this whole fan engagement, getting people to spend the day at the stadium, getting people to be engaged, getting people to enjoy it. You go to Old Trafford early doors, where are you going to go? What are you going to do? Hotel football. The club don't even own that. You're going to go to the Bishop's Blaze or whatever. That's nothing to do with Manchester United. The club itself has done nothing towards that. And you might not care. You might go, Jay, come on, man. But if you want to compete with other clubs, if you want to be the best, if you want to attract the best, you have to be the best at everything, not just little things, like not just 1 or 2 things, but all of it. So if you see that people are making their stadium better and bigger and more attractive to people, and people are spending the day there, what are we doing in terms of that? We're doing nothing. So yeah, there's so much going on.
We haven't even got
falling behind.
We haven't got a TV screen in the stadium, Jay. There's not even a screen in the stadium, which is like minimum for most stadiums across the country. So when like a VAR decision happens, you just sat there going, "I don't know what the fuck's going on. I've got no idea what's happening."
Sorry to put in. I don't mean to jump on your
go for it,
chat, but there's some good. You got some good comments there. NC says, "I remember hearing that too, Jay. Even the chefs and waiters not being on first name basis with the players during Alex Ferguson's reign. Everyone would say good morning to each other, and everyone knew each other. Do you know what? Right, that's spot on, because I'm quite fortunate to be friends with. I'm going to name drop here with Chucky, Brian McClare. He's been on the channel a lot. I've known him for a few years.
Legend.
And yeah, top bloke. And he's told me a few stories about Fergie. Fergie stopping him and going, "Who's that over there? Who's that?" Because Chucky was a coach as well, United.
Like testing him.
No, wanting to know.
Oh, okay.
There's someone I don't know. Who's that?
Right.
Oh, that's a new person who's working in the kitchen. Go and get him. Or, what's the name? Right, I'll come over and introduce myself. You know what I mean? What's going on here? It's her birthday. His birthday. Right, I'll go and say happy birthday to him. Being across things, making sure that the players are on that as well. Now, it's all gone to the dogs.
Well, Rio said it, hasn't he? He said when his granddad, Fergie knew his granddad's name, knew his favourite drink, all that sort of stuff. And he was just like, how would you know this? He's just like, Fergie just knew these things. Like, he went out of his way to find out these things and know the families and know the people behind the club and that sort of stuff. And we're just a sort of corporate hollow shell at this point, United. And it's sad,
that's
man.
It. You're right.
It's fucking sad.
You know what, right? You can kind of get away with, you're like a Real Madrid, right? Who just, absolutely shits Champions League wins every fucking season. You can get away with doing that because you're so successful.
Nobody cares.
And you're such a giant, that people will have it with you. But if you're a club that's not been to a Champions League semi-final in 12 years, that's not won a Premier League title in a decade, that's won one trophy in 6 years, you can't get away with acting like that, especially not when down the road you've got a club that, albeit with 115 charges hanging over their head, is winning the lot.
Yeah.
You have to be better than that, man, and we're not.
You got to start. You got to start somewhere with certain things. You can't just let everything go. Like, you have to start somewhere. You can't just chuck money and go, oh, we've signed a £75 million player, that'll fix it. It's like, nah, man. Like, it's more than that. It's more than that. Like, you have to take more into account. But yeah, we could go on 100%. Forever. Miles saying, getting these directors' roles filled with proper people would be like when we replace Young with Aaron Wan-Bissaka at right back, not relying on makeshifts and patchwork jobs like a breath of fresh air. There you go. And then Dino Lewis, yeah, mate, this is the way I've looked at this season so far. I've expected this last year and this year. Injuries played a massive part in that, though. We've been unlucky. So there you go.
How many likes have you got on your video right now?
What have we got? 28 we got so far.
How many people are watching?
We got 55 people in the chat so far, I think. Yeah, 55 people.
Let's sort out. Let's get to 50 likes, people. Come on.
Jay Motty's on the channel, man. This is not just me chatting shit. You got Stretford Paddock legend. Like,
I love coming on this channel, man. It's good vibes. It is. In the chat as well.
No prep, and we just tack shit.
Well, even if there is prep, it goes out the window, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it does. Come on, you know that.
Yeah. Last question before I know I've got to get you going in 5 minutes. So,
you're right, man. Go on.
Jadon Sancho. That was a story that's popped off today. United apparently going to be more ruthless with their contracts. They're not going to automatically extend for the 1 year to retain the value. And Jadon Sancho, if a potential suitor can't be found, could have his contract terminated. Is that a line in the sand against player power, or is that just United sort of posturing and sort of saying, we'll do this to sort of ingratiate themselves? Or do you think this is something that could actually happen?
I think it's something that should happen. I think United and contracts have been ridiculous. Now, I'm always pro working me. Like, I back the strikes and I believe in workers. And I don't think just because you're earning £1 million a month, whatever, you shouldn't have rights as a worker. I think you should. So like, a lot of people might look at Jadon Sancho, or he's a spoiled brat or whatever, or he's not conducting himself. That doesn't necessarily mean that every player, young man that's on a contract, should just have his contract terminated if things go wrong. But I think United have to look at the way they're structuring these contracts, and if that's what they're doing, and they're going, look, okay, if you come here, you get a 3 or 4 year deal, whatever, but we're not automatically going to extend that, and maybe if there's certain, stipulations in that contract that you have to meet, then that kind of makes sense. I think the big problem with Manchester United is we just overpay players.
Yeah.
It's not even the terms of the contracts, it's the wages, man.
Yeah.
Every player at Manchester United, almost everyone, is overpaid.
Pretty much.
So I'm not even discriminating. Like, everyone is on. And I'll tell you what I mean when I say they're overpaid. Ask yourself, would they get those wages anywhere else in the Premier League?
That's why we can't sell them. Because
nobody
will pay it.
Whenever I ask that question, right? Exactly. Whenever I ask that question, people say, oh, they could go to PSG. No, forget PSG. In the Premier League, would any Premier League club pay, and I could go through the entire squad, perhaps, the wages they're on at Manchester United, would they get him? Even City. Would City give Jadon Sancho 375 grand a week? Would Marcus Rashford get 350 grand a week or whatever he's on at Liverpool? Would, I don't know, who else is, Casemiro get whatever he's on at even Newcastle? I don't know. And they've got oil money. I don't think they would. And that's the problem. And a lot of these players, if it's still the way I think it is like, if someone new comes in, they're on big money, then you want parity with them.
Yeah.
So if you're a Marcus who's just dropped 30 goals in a season, and then you see we sign someone and giving them 450k a week, you're gonna be like, well, I want that. So we've got to stop dishing out ridiculously large contracts, because also what you're doing is you're getting players that are only coming for the dough. Now listen, I'm not saying players are coming to Manchester United because they're Manchester United fans and they want to represent the club they've always supported. But if your only motivating factor to come to United is money, if you don't think I'm coming here to win things and because it's a club going places, you've got an entire squad like that,
it's just
you're going to be in trouble. Yeah, you need to have some players in there, or a lot of players that are thinking, come at United because I think this club is going somewhere. And that's what you need to do when you're bringing in the likes of Mitchell and Ashworth and all them lot. Get players that are hungry, man. Get players that are not just going to come on 400k a week. You can't sustain that. We're in so much trouble because we gave out all these contracts. Look at our attack now, right? Look at it. You've got Rashford, I think, has got 2 goals. Anthony's got none, I think. Sancho's training with the Rezzies. Rasmus Højlund, I'm not having a dig at the kid because I like him.
No Premier League goals.
No Premier League goals, right? Palestri's still a youngster, but again...
He's 22, though. How young is he?
All right,
you know what I mean?
all right, yeah. No, it's a fair comment. But I don't think he's got a goal or an assist this season, or if he has, I must have missed it, forgive me.
Yeah.
Garnacho, again, he is young, he's 19.
Yeah.
I love the kid. Again, though, he's got 1 goal, 1 assist. My point is, we've got all these players are on big money as well, don't forget.
Yep.
And we need another attacker. We need at least another 2, in my opinion. We need another option on the right wing, and we need a striker.
Yeah.
Oh, Martial, I forgot about him. He's on what, 400 or 300k a week, and he's got what's he got this season?
1 goal.
Is it one goal?
Yeah, against Everton, I think it was. And then you've got you've got young players sort of coming. Like we've got Ahmad. Don't know his future. Paid quite a lot of money to Atalanta for him, and he's not really played in the first team. And it's like, well, what's happening with him? Is he going to come in? Is he going out? Like, it just seems like a bit of a mess up front. Like, and then you've got to look at other areas, like you just said with the striker. Like, you look at the midfield. Like, Casemiro's on an absolute wedge, but how long is he going to be here? You got Scott McTominay, who's everybody's kicking off, academy prospect, all that sort of stuff. He's probably on a big contract, I imagine, as well. So it's all over the pitch, not just the forward line. It's all over the pitch.
It's messy, innit? It's a mess.
Brian Casey, would love to hear Jay's thoughts on United's best ever January signing, and why is it Andy Cole?
He's done me there. I can't. I always forget when we signed we signed Andy Cole. It was around Christmas time. Yeah, Andy Cole's one of my favourite ever players. The other ones that people always mention, obviously, are Everett and Vidic. But yeah, Andy Cole.
Bruno.
Was it Bruno?
Bruno's signing, yeah.
Bruno's a very good signing. People don't like him, but he is. But yeah, for me, Andy Cole, all day long.
Yeah, and Keith Gillespie. Is it Keith Gillespie going the other way?
Yeah, man.
You're number one ranked player, I believe. Last time you were on here when you did the blind rankings.
Joe was laughing at me when he said, like, why did you go so high on
Nanny? I think you went high on Nanny, didn't you?
I went like number 2 Nanny, didn't I? I was like, why did you do that, man? If you'd gone like 4 or 5, you would have been laughing. I was like, no, man, I flopped.
Dino saying, would you take Rafinha for a Sancho in a swap deal?
Yeah, I would.
There you go.
Sancho right now is useless to Manchester United Football Club.
Yeah.
Like, you may as well swap him for anyone who's half decent because he's doing nothing for United, and I don't think he ever will. And I don't want to just hate on Sancho because he's an easy target, but let's have it right. He's got no real desire to get back into the first team because he could do it by just saying sorry. I think he's waiting out to see if the manager gets sacked. And even if the manager does get sacked, it'll leave a sour taste in my mouth if then Jadon Sancho comes back after 3 months of collecting £1 million a month and doing now.
Yeah. Henry Jones, Paul Mullin, here we go. Does he play for Wrexham, Paul Mullin?
Yeah, he's that kid. Do you know what's funny thing, right, about that? When we was in San Diego, right, for pre-season, it was United versus Wrexham. And like Wrexham pulled out all the stops, because of the Ryan Reynolds and Rob McEnany, is it?
Yeah.
The other kid. So they had like giving out Welsh food, giving out Wrexham kits and all that, and everyone was buying into this Wrexham thing. So it was like a Wrexham home game in that in the San Diego Stadium. I can't remember the name of the stadium.
Snapdragon.
But yeah,
I think.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. And so there's a lot of Wrexham fans there, like say fans in inverted commas. So anyway, our keeper, I think it was Bishop, it might be, I can't remember, has gone into that Mullin and wiped him out, but I think he ended up breaking his ribs.
Yeah.
So Mullin's gone off. So every time our keeper gets the ball, he's getting booed. The second half, they swap ends, obviously. Our keeper's gone off anyway, but they start booing their own keeper because they think it's ours because he's in that same end. So my man's getting booed off his own fans.
God.
And the guy they want to boo, not only have he swapped ends, obviously, but he's not even on the pitch anyway because he got subbed. I was like, it was mad, because all around me was these Wrexham fans, but a lot of them, because they don't really get football, they're American, So some of them, because I was quite loud and the lad I was with were United fans, almost start joining in with you because you're
supporting United.
Yeah. I'd be like, for fuck's sake, go on, hit him again, go on, get in there, whatever. like, out wide, and they're going, yeah, out wide, like they're joining in because they're just like a bit confused about it all. I think was it Dan Gore got a red card?
Yeah.
I remember losing my shit over that.
Yeah, I was busy. I think
like, they were joining in.
Yeah, I think Nick was on a watch along with Scotty, I believe, in the studio doing that, and he said, yeah they were going mental because it was not even like Bishop didn't get sent off, did he, for his? But Dan Gore got sent off for his, which was probably a little bit less.
It felt like it was it was so soft.
Yeah, Srindi, what were your thoughts on the Dallo red card? I know you've gone into it quite a bit on Paddock, but I was furious. I was fucking furious.
It was a disgrace.
Yeah.
He's still kicking off when he gets that second yellow from the from the first decision. It should not have been a red card. If it was a red card for him, it should have been a red card for Darwin Núñez.
Yeah.
Michael Oliver should not be refereeing Manchester United matches. He's a diehard Newcastle fan. He should not be refereeing Manchester United matches. End of.
No, I agree. Final couple of comments and we'll get Jay out of it. The Jadon Sanchez jokes now have that beautiful irony considering our history with Sanchez is in the transfer market. That's from Miles there. It's a Paddock joke there, Jadon Sanchez. Brian Casey, final question. Jay, 70 million to spend in January. Who are you getting in to improve the squad?
If I've got 70 million quid, I'll go in for Ivan Toney.
Striker, straight away.
I'd say, look, Brentford, after 70 mil, give us Toney. And if they say, it's all right, we'll throw in Anthony Martial.
I think they'll want more money.
Yeah, they'll go, all right, give us 90 million. Nah, like, if you're going to, listen, we can try and get, a couple of 10 million players or 20 million players or 30 million players. Who are you getting realistically? You could go for Serhou Guirassy, the kid who's got 17 million pound euros.
I've not even watched him, so I can't even pretend.
But he's in a purple patch right now. I don't know if you can hang it out on him, getting you a load of goals. But yeah, if I had 70 million, I think 70 million, you get you an Ivan Toney, I'd go for it. I don't care if he's been suspended for 3 months. None of our attackers have been doing much for 3 months anyway.
It's a good shout. It's a good shout. Jay, thank you as always for joining us. We appreciate your time. I know you're a busy man, not just personal, but with Paddock as well. Has the Dublin date sold out yet? The Paddock?
No, there's still some tickets available, man. So if you can get over to Dublin, go and check out Paddock on the socials, on our videos. 28th of December, me, Steve, McCullough, Joe, of course, Wes Brown in the house.
Hardest man in town.
All the time, exactly. We're going to have a good chat. It's a good laugh with Wes as well. We did a few bits with him over in America. Yeah. So we're doing that. We'll meet everyone. We'll have a laugh and a drink with you guys as well. We did it last year. It was top notch. So yeah, get over there if you can.
I'm pissed I'm missing that because I do like Dublin. So it's a shame.
It's sick.
We'll have to do you have to do a Manchester one again, Jay. We need to see that.
Get you guys involved, man. Get you lads on it.
We're down.
Yeah, we'll do a bonanza, man. We'll do like a festival.
Yeah. There you go.
So we'll get the Sloppy Joes, Scotty and Motty, Real Reds talk, and then the Paddock lads, and we'll just make a full day of it, man. It'll be sick.
I'm down with that. Sounds like a great idea. Yeah, Jay, thank you for coming on, mate. Appreciate it as always. I'll get you out of here so you can get your You're on the 33 again tonight?
Yeah, I think I will be, I think, do you know, I had a stinker last night as well because we were having that meal I spoke about. I got the 33 because the meal was meant to be in Worsley. It had been moved to Ermston, so I had to get off and get a taxi. But yeah, I'm on the 33 later.
Nice. Appreciate you coming in here, guys. If you're new here and you just come over for Jay, subscribe, like us, follow all the socials, follow Jay on Scotty and Motty and Paddock and all the stuff he's on. And if you haven't bought a ticket and you get to Dublin, go buy a ticket to that because it will sell out. Appreciate it, Jay, and we'll see you again soon.
See you later, brother.
Peace out, lads.